In this video, we will explore the topic of mass psychology, which is the study of how individuals behave in groups and how groups influence individuals. Mass psychology can help us understand many phenomena and events in our society, such as riots, protests, social movements, mass hysteria, and propaganda. But mass psychology can also have both positive and negative impacts on individuals and groups, depending on the context and the circumstances. On the one hand, mass psychology can foster social cohesion, solidarity, cooperation, and collective action. When people are part of a group, they tend to feel more connected, supported, and empowered. They also tend to share common goals, values, and beliefs, which can motivate them to work together and achieve their objectives. For example, mass psychology can help people overcome oppression, injustice, or discrimination by uniting them against a common enemy or cause. Mass psychology can also promote social change, innovation, or creativity by encouraging people to challenge the status quo, express their opinions, or generate new ideas. For instance, mass psychology can inspire people to participate in social movements, such as the civil rights movement, the feminist movement, or the environmental movement, which have brought significant changes and improvements to our society. On the other hand, mass psychology can lead to irrationality, violence, conformity, obedience, or manipulation. When people are part of a group, they tend to lose their individuality, critical thinking, or moral judgment. They also tend to follow the norms, rules, or expectations of the group, which can limit their freedom, diversity, or autonomy. For example, mass psychology can cause people to act impulsively, aggressively, or destructively by arousing their emotions, passions, or fears. Mass psychology can also make people susceptible to influence, persuasion, or control by exploiting their needs, desires, or weaknesses. For instance, mass psychology can induce people to engage in riots, mobs, or cults, which can result in harm, damage, or death. The effects of mass psychology are not fixed or predetermined, but rather depend on various factors that influence how individuals and groups behave and interact. Some of these factors are the size, composition, and diversity of the group, the nature and intensity of the situation, the personality and motivation of the individual, and the role and power of the leader. For example, mass psychology can vary depending on the type, purpose, and structure of the group, such as whether it is formal or informal, homogeneous or heterogeneous, cohesive or fragmented, or hierarchical or egalitarian. Mass psychology can also vary depending on the level of stress, emotion, or uncertainty of the situation, such as whether it is calm or chaotic, positive or negative, or predictable or unpredictable. Mass psychology can also vary depending on the degree of identification, involvement, or commitment of the individual, such as whether they feel attached or detached, interested or indifferent, or loyal or disloyal to the group. Mass psychology can also vary depending on the charisma, authority, or expertise of the leader, such as whether they are attractive, persuasive, or knowledgeable, or whether they are benevolent, democratic, or authoritarian. In conclusion, mass psychology is a complex and dynamic phenomenon that can have both positive and negative impacts on individuals and groups. Mass psychology can foster social cohesion, solidarity, cooperation, and collective action. But it can also lead to irrationality, violence, conformity, obedience, or manipulation. Mass psychology can be influenced by various factors, such as the group, the situation, the individual, and the leader. Therefore, it is important to be aware of the potential benefits and risks of mass psychology, and to use it wisely and responsibly. Further research and practice on mass psychology can help us improve our understanding and management of human behavior and society.